But anyway, let's go ahead and slide into some college basketball. And we are going to begin with the early game, noon Eastern time. Clemson at NC State, 12 o'clock Eastern tip-off at the Spectrum Center. It's actually Clemson versus NC State, by the way. It's not at NC State. It's Clemson versus NC State at a neutral site, the Spectrum Center, at 12 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Clemson open -1, total 140. We're seeing movement upward on both the spread and the total. We're looking at 1.5 and 140.5. Once again, Clemson open -1 up to -1.5. Total open 140 up to 140.5. Right now, NC State is +110 on the money line. Now, the Wolfpack are 19-12 ATS overall for the year. They're 9-3 ATS in their games away from home, and they're covering 71% of their games when catching the points. Now, Clemson on the other side, they're covering just 25% of their games. That tipped off at the current point spread. They've also covered just 6 out of 15 games, taking on teams over 650. When it comes to the scoring, Clemson's just 33% to the over in their games at the current posted total. NC State just 45% to the over overall for the year. So with all that said and done, I'm going to lean toward the underdog in this matchup here. I'm also not going to buy the hook. I'm going to leave it out there. Ugh. Give me NC State +1.5 and the over 140.5 in that matchup there. Next game, Miami, Virginia Tech, 2 o'clock tip-off at the Spectrum Center. Virginia Tech opened 7.5, total 137. Not a whole lot of movement on the spread. We're seeing good two-way action there, although we are seeing movement upward on the total. That moved up to 137.5. So once again, the Hokies open and remain -7.5. Total open 137 up to 137 and a hook. 68% of the consensus is leaning toward Virginia Tech, 57% shaded toward the over. Right now, Virginia Tech, 3-1 against the spread in their last 4. They rank 4th in college basketball in offensive three-point percentage. They're shooting 40% from beyond the arc. They're also ranking 7th in defensive rebounding. Meanwhile, Miami on the other side, they rank 220th in offensive rebounding and 191st in defensive field goal percentage. We're looking at 45% in that category there. Now, total-wise, Miami 7-2 to the over in their last 9. They're also 6-1 to the over in their last 7. Think it goes. Anyway, let's try that again. Miami 7-2 to the over in their last 9. Virginia Tech 6-1 to the over in their last 7. I'm going to lean toward the favorite in this one. Give me Virginia Tech -7.5 and the over 137 and a hook in that matchup there. All right, next and final game for our college slate. It is going to be West Virginia at Oklahoma. It's not at Oklahoma. It's West Virginia versus Oklahoma. 9 o'clock tip-off at the Sprint Center. Oklahoma open -7, total 145. We're seeing movement downward on the spread. We're seeing movement upward on the total. OU's now -6.5, total 145 and a hook. So once again, the Sooners open 7, down to -6.5, total open 145, up to 145 and a hook. 67% are leaning Oklahoma, 71% shaded toward the over. West Virginia ranks 249th in road offensive field goal percentage. They're shooting 38% away from home. They also rank 250th in road defensive field goal percentage, 49.2% in that category there. They failed to cover in 6 out of their last 9. They're also just 2-7 straight up in that same category. Now, Oklahoma ranks 21st in defensive field goal percentage. We're looking at 40% in that category there. The Sooners also rank 52nd in offensive rebounding. The Sooners successfully covered the number in 2 out of their last 3. They're also 5-1 straight up at a neutral court. Total-wise, Oklahoma 5-3 to the under in their last 8, 8-4 to the under away from home. West Virginia, they're scoring 65 points per contest away from home themselves. Give me the Oklahoma Sooners -6.5 and the under 145.5 in that matchup there. All right, next and final slate for the show. It is going to be in the NHL. We have Chicago at Toronto, 7 o'clock Eastern tip-off in Toronto. The Maple Leafs open 240, total at 7. Not a whole lot of movement on the total, although we did see a nickel fade of Toronto when it comes to the money line. No real surprises there. They're down to 235. So once again, Toronto opened 240, down to 235. Totals at 7. Chicago's plus 200 on the money line. Toronto plus 115 on the puck line. Crawford projected in net for Chicago. Anderson projected in net for Toronto. Now, Chicago's failed to cover in 6 out of their last 8. And when I say fail to cover or refer to the spread in hockey, I'm actually referring to the puck line. So once again, Chicago failing to cover in 6 out of their last 8 puck line plays. They're also 2-4 against the spread in their last 6 on the road. The Chicago team is winning just 30% of their games, taking on teams over 550. They're also winning just 20% of their games at the current market price. Now, Toronto, on the other side, completely different story. They're winning 75% of their games played at the current market price themselves. And they also rank 3rd in offensive scoring. They're averaging 3.6 goals per contest in that category there. When it comes to the total, this Toronto offense is scoring just 2.3 goals per contest in their last 3. So although I praise them when it comes to the sides, total-wise, they're only averaging 2.3 goals per contest in their last 3. Meanwhile, the Chicago defense is giving up just 2 goals per game in their last 3 on average. So although I think Toronto's going to win, and I think they're going to win by at least 2 goals, I don't think we're going to see as much scoring as they're projecting. We might see a 2-0 game or a 3-1 game, or maybe a little bit more. Who knows? But I don't think it's going over 7. So I like Toronto minus 1.5, getting the job done on the puck line and the under 7 goals in that matchup there. Next game, Devils-Oilers, 9:30 Eastern tip-off in Edmonton. The Oilers open 215, total 5.5. We're seeing movement upward on the money line, upward on the total. Edmonton 240, total 6. Once again, the Oilers open 215 up to minus 240. Total open 5.5 up to 6. 79% of the consensus is leaning toward Edmonton. 51% shaded toward the over. Schneider projected in net for New Jersey. Koskinen projected in net for Edmonton. The Devils are on a 7-game losing streak. They're also just 8-24-3 away from home this year. Unbelievable. Out of 35 games, they've only won 8 of them outright away from home. Ouch. They're ranked 30th in road goals allowed at 4.1 per game on average. That is second to last in the NHL. Edmonton 5-1 straight up in their last 6, 7-3 straight up in their last 10. And when it comes to scoring, New Jersey is 21-12-2 to the over away from home. Give me Edmonton minus 1.5, getting the job done on the puck line, and the over 6 goals in that matchup there. All right, next and final game for the show, it is going to be Rangers-Canucks, 10 o'clock Eastern tip-off in Vancouver. The Canucks open 140 down to $1.25. Totals 5.5. 57% are leaning Vancouver, 76% shaded toward the over. Right now, the Rangers are plus 105 on the money line. Vancouver plus 220 on the puck line. Lundqvist projected in net for the Rangers. Markstrom projected in net for the Canucks. The Rangers are just 1-7 straight up in their last 8. They're ranked 27th in road goals allowed at 3.9. The Rangers rank 30th in road shots allowed as well. They're giving up 36 shots per game in that category there. So when the Rangers are traveling, they're allowing a lot of shots on goal. Once again, they rank 30th in road shots allowed at 36 per game on average. That's second to last in the NHL in that category there. Now, total-wise, the Rangers are 6-3-1 to the over in their last 10, taking on Vancouver. If you're into historical trends, give me the Canucks minus $1.25 in the over. 5.5 goals in that matchup there. All right, folks, that is going to do it for me. Once again, I just want to thank you for watching the show. I also want to remind you, once again, just to quickly check me out on my website at patreon.com/BrockPage. We've had a very, very good run in college basketball as of late. Basketball in general, both college and the NBA. Plus, there's plenty of free content there as well. So once again, please feel free to just hit that pause button right now or finish the video open up your browser and simply type in patreon.com/BrockPage. It'll only take you a couple of seconds. The link is in the description section below. And if you are a current patron of mine and you're watching me right now, I simply cannot thank you enough. You most certainly make it all worth it. And most importantly, thank you for watching today's program. I really hope you enjoyed all this great free information. And as always, don't forget to check me out at patreon.com/BrockPage.